And welcome back to the 2026 TireRack.com One Lap of America. It is time for the post show, the regular show, the one lap show. How you doing, all? It's Solomon, and with me I've got my buddy Brian. And let me go find where Brian is here. Brian, there you are. Welcome.
Here I am.
There you is. Brian, you recovered? How you doing, buddy?
Um, Counting down the days for West Coast.
Oh, you're already jumping into it, right? But
Yeah, why not?
yeah, why not? But you're all recovered. It wasn't too bad this year. We were living it up in the lap of luxury with the with our super cool Chrysler Pacifica, our Hertz edition,
Pacific.
Pacifica S, Pacificas. Yeah. So what should we start with? I guess let's start with all the cool people that made this year possible, right? So let's just get that off the bat this year. Had a lot of
Sure.
really great support from a lot of great companies and great individuals this year. First of all, we had Tire Rack, you know, Brian, and we were talking with them at the end of the event, and next year is going to be an anniversary year for us. You know that,
That's
right?
right.
Up, he's here. We're gonna put him in the green room for a moment, and then we'll bring him in. But this year we Tire Act, so next year is gonna be 25 years of support with Tire
Yep.
Rack. So absolutely go and show them some love. TireRack.com and go buy lots and lots of tires so they will keep supporting us, and then we can keep doing this for you guys.
That's right.
Parts Farm, obviously, we had a lot of really cool coverage this year. I think it was fun for people to watch us learn how to kind of use this stuff and see where we would mess up. And we did, but by and large, I
Yep.
think it was certainly a step forward and we did okay. And so all the eCam stuff and all the stuff that we've been using and like we're doing now, and we plan to continue getting better at this as we go. But Parts Farm, making sure that we had the support to be able to do that this year to up that coverage game. And thank you very much to them and Rob. And I think he's actually joining us as well. We had Garmin providing a suite of cool stuff, the Catalyst 2 units and the Epix watches for our winning team. So Salil and Tomo they now have a few Garmin products at this point in time, don't they? and
Yes.
and then we had PMX Project Motoring, right?
Yep.
John Cafis and Dave Gilbert helping us out with the all remaining cars. So cool set of gloves there. And then everybody who donated to the Brock Gates Memorial Fund, right? So how much did we raise this year?
The auction was a little over seven, I think 17.2 for the
Yeah,
auction items.
yeah, we were close to 18 is what Brock I think wound up. I think he rounded it up and he wound it up, giving in. I think it was 18 even, if I'm not mistaken. But certainly a good start for you taking over the Brock Gates Memorial Fund. So well done. I know you worked hard to pull together a lot of those cards and the sets. Big thank you to BFG for the two sets of tires, as well as Bridgestone for those two sets of tires. That was super helpful. And Randy Pobst, who once again sold himself to us. That was fun to auction him off. Selling Randy Pobst is always cool. He went for $10,000 again. So Randy certainly bringing in the coin. So well done, Randy. But at this time, we have a guest, a co-host as well here. Let's bring him in here. Let me see if I can do this the right way without messing it up too much here. I should probably do this, and then we can go. And I think I'm gonna have you showing up again. I'm not sure, but whoop, there you go. Brian went away. Eh, there you are again. There's two
In-
Brians now. That is terrible. We need to fix that. There he is. There's
What's happening?
Mr. Musto. Hey Mike, how you doing?
Nothing. What's going on, guys? Good to see you.
the
Oh, we're
birthday
just
boy.
we're starting our recap, and for those of you who don't know who Mike is, I'll let him introduce himself.
Well, thanks. No, just Mike Musto, longtime one lap guy. Probably done it, I don't know, 6 or 7 times at this point. Yeah. director of programming for Hemmings and been making video content and automotive stuff for the last 20 years.
I love how that's the aside. Like it starts off with, yeah, I've done the one lap a bunch of times, and yeah, I also take care of Hemmings
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing that I do, like on the days.
That's the day job. That's what pays for
It's
everything.
exactly to do the one lap. So Mike actually he's underselling it. So you might he's probably one of the busiest people in the motorsport and sort of the magazine and television arena around. I mean, you were on the road what for weeks at a time here. You just wrapped up last week.
Yeah, this year has just been busy. We're creating a whole bunch of content. We've got a bunch of shows that are coming up. We're building some cars for OEMs to, to be exhibition vehicles and stuff like that. And it's just, yeah, I think it's that point where my wife is just like, are you going to move back to the house eventually? You know what I mean? Just because I've been gone for so long. So
Yeah.
it is what it is, but it's still fun, man. We still enjoy it. So it's good.
Okay. Very good. So apart from that, what do we expect from Hemmings coming up? Anything really cool, or what do you got coming up?
Yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff that's coming up. We actually launched a podcast this year called Between Two Pumps, which is a lot of fun. And it's myself, Terry Shea, and Terry McGean. And it's everything from just kind of an overview of automotive content to what's going on in the automotive space as far as marketplace, what's buying, what's selling, what current trends are, things that we like, things that we don't like. It's honestly, it's like three middle-aged guys just bitching and moaning about things in the auto industry, but then also highlighting some of the best aspects of it. So it's
So you
actually
got
a lot of fun. We have a great time.
so you kind of took the between two ferns and you did the between two pumps.
We did because we actually have this classic 1950s gas station up in Bennington, Vermont. And in the gas station, there were two pumps, literally where the table is. So we were like, oh, well, this kind of works. We're like, all right, we're
So
thieving that
so
name. Exactly what we did.
so two pumps, one car didn't make the cut.
No,
No.
no.
Okay, perfect. That's
I would have been fine with it. Management might have been like, I don't know about
terrible. Hemmings, if you're listening, there are options on
that.
the table.
Yeah.
Very good. Nice. Well, so we're just dissecting. We were just talking about all the sponsors and everybody who made it possible this year. And look, you're always filming content, frequently, and so what kind of a grind it is. Let alone to get stuff
Oh,
out
yeah.
every day and to host a show for effectively 7 hours a day. So three and a half and three and a
Yeah.
half. So, I mean, it's a lot of work.
Oh,
And
the fact that you guys are able to crank out any content amazes me. And for, I don't know if this is going out to more people than, that haven't done one lap, but that's a job in and of itself. Aside from one lap is a job. One lap plus content creating is a whole nother ballgame.
oh yeah.
So congrats to you guys for banging it out.
Well, honestly, it's my team this year was outstanding and couldn't have done any of this without them. So Brian over there, and
Hmm.
backwards here, and the other Brian Shaw, doing those. I mean, I got to give him credit because at a vehicle moving at terminal velocity for a majority
Hmm.
of the transits, albeit a Pacifica S, in the back there editing everything that he shot and pumping this stuff
Yeah,
out so this way we're ready to upload it by the time we get to a hotel is outstanding. And he did, and this wasn't some crappy stuff. He did a really good job on the videos coming
that's
out.
awesome.
So
Very cool.
kudos to him. And Mark Mattice, another good friend of ours, a one lapper, and who just decided that he didn't want to compete, but he wanted to come out and have fun, so he just joined us.
Sure.
And why
Nice.
not, right? So he came out and he and I sort of switched back and forth driving duties. Brian's the consummate co-driver here and
Hmm.
navigator, and we just kept it buried and leaving the track last.
Good.
We're still getting in first, so it's not what you
Well, people
drive,
don't
guys. It's how you
understand.
drive it.
Yeah, people don't understand. Like the tracks are fun, but the transit legs are the honestly part of well, probably the best part for me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They really are. It's so much fun.
What was looking back on it, what was your sort of best transit?
Oh man, I mean, the best transit is the transit that we had where we almost got killed. And this had
Yeah, why not?
the. It had nothing to do with any driving. It had to do with Mother Nature. We literally drove through a hurricane, a river, uh, a trailer park that had just been wiped out by a tornado,
Yep.
I've never in all my years driven through anything like we did on that transit. And I don't, I've tried to tell that story over the years to people. You can't describe it. You can't describe the fact that it was, like when we literally drove through that, it used to be a road, but was a river. And I think you guys were in a Durango and we
Flood
were in a
Road.
Challenger.
Yeah, Flood Road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
You know, Solomon was in front of us, and I just remember following him as he's going through this river, and literally the back of the car got up and floated sideways, and I was like, "This isn't good." But if he didn't like literally plow the water for us,
Yeah.
we would never have gotten through. And
Oh,
then driving through that,
from our
it was crazy.
standpoint,
It was
I'm
crazy.
fording the water, and there was never a car was going the other way. I would just hear whoop, 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 whoop,
Hmm.
as you were lifted off the ground. But
Yeah, dude,
it
it
was.
was crazy.
I can pinpoint the exact moment that our souls intertwined when we got out of the car at the hotel at Hallett, and we just looked at each other and had this very in depth and intimate
Oh yeah,
understanding. Like, whew, whew. It was,
yeah. That was
that
that
was
was that was a big one, man.
that was that was going like 12 rounds with the gorilla. That was, we were tired by the end of that. Like every
Yeah,
muscle tensed up in your body. It was, yeah, hard.
it beat us up,
Yep.
but never forget it. I'll tell you that.
exactly. Now, one of my favorite transits with you, Mike, was actually the day before when we did Pueblo to Crescent, and
Okay.
coming back to
Yep.
Mexico, and then like got to Amarillo, and then came across Texas.
Yep.
Going through the like 2-lane roads where the speed limit's 80, and just
Yeah.
having a blast.
Well, that's we talk about, again. You talk about the tracks, but people don't understand the. I think the greatest thing that One Lap provides is actually seeing the United States in a way that no one gets to see it, or very few people get to see it, right? And you're going through these small towns, you're staying by these tracks, you're interacting with people that you would never have gotten to meet otherwise. And for that alone, that's why it's my favorite event. I mean, hands down. It's the best open road event in I'm not going to say the United States. I'm going to say the world. And if people haven't done it, I mean, I've been all over the world doing car shit, and like One Lap still takes it. It just does.
Yep. So, well, let's jump into West for a second because obviously you're West Coast based and
Hmm.
you're going to be familiar with some of the transits here. So, while we're on the topic of transits, I'm going to go through where we're going and you tell me what you think
Hmm.
the nicest transit's going to be here. So, we're going to start off in Vegas at Shelby American. Going to head on up to Spring
Okay.
Mountain Raceway, then to
It's
Laguna,
great.
then to
Yep.
Oregon Raceway Park. Now, the way we're doing that is we're going to go up and stay just outside of Seattle, or Portland, excuse me,
Okay.
just outside of Portland, and
Okay.
and then we're going to get a later start the next morning and go along the river there. I forget which river it's called there,
Hmm.
and that's this way we can see that sort of as dawn's breaking, and then down to ORP, Oregon Raceway Park. After that,
Hmm.
we're going to head down to Thunderhill, then to Button Willow,
Hmm.
then to Willow Springs, and then back down to
Okay.
Shelby American. So, out of all of those, what do you think is going to be? What would you look forward to the most?
I mean, the run, there's a couple, right? The first one is from Laguna Seca up, and it depends how everybody goes. If you do the one, it's slower, but my God, you're going to see some of the greatest coastline you've ever seen. Oregon is the same way. The Oregon coastline is just spectacular. I mean, it's some of the best views in the world. Um, but then going down to, Vegas, going to Vegas is kind of cool because you are literally, if anybody's coming from like the East Coast and doing this and they've never been out this way, you are in the desert. Like there's nothing there except open roads. And depending on the route that you pick, you can go through like Mojave, you can go by the Hoover Dam. Like there's some pretty crazy places that you can go through. And having done that route so many times, it's every time I do it, I'm still kind of in awe. I'm like, I can't believe this stuff is here, you know? And like you guys being East Coast guys, it's good if you've never done it, you've never submerged yourself into the desert in a car. It's unreal. I mean, it's a trip.
Well, you've
So,
got Barstow, you've got Baker on the way there. Ask me how I know about
oh yeah,
breaking down in those places in a Hummer
hmm,
H1 armored up, which
yeah,
is not fun.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
don't
But
I don't.
it's great. The scenery is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. We're looking forward to it. If you haven't yet signed up, do it now. You can head on over to lapdogsllc.com or you can head over to onelapofAmericaWest.com, Both of those will take you to our microsite, and that'll walk you through exactly how to register and get that done. So go do it now to sign up, so we can certainly get this off the ground. Because if we don't this time around, once we've now given you a very comprehensive route with a lot of great tracks, I'm not going to try that again. So this is it.
Yeah.
You've asked for it, we've given it to you. Sign up. Let's
And then
get
the
this off
tracks
the ground.
are the thing about the tracks that you've chosen are great. Like Laguna's, if anybody's never driven the corkscrew, it's going to be one of the highlights of any track you've ever driven. Um, Button Willow is great. Vegas is a riot. You've got some really, really good tracks out here that, and Thunder Hill. Thunder Hill is like, which course are you doing? You doing the full track or are you
We're,
doing the
we're
West course or which one are you doing?
so we're gonna. I think we have the. I think I have my choice of two. So I might switch it up a little bit. But Matt Busby over there, good friend of the event, and
Hmm.
and just a really cool guy in general, is working with us. So I kind of have my lay of the land. I'm gonna start with, I think, the easier of the two. I think, which is the East, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken,
Yeah.
and then we'll go from there. We'll see how things go. We can always change, but
Th- Thunder Hill it's one of those tracks that's in Willows, California, and um, there's not a lot in Willows, California, except Thunder Hill, but that's fine because it's one of those tracks that most people are like, oh, I've never been there, I've never heard of it, and then when they go there, they're like, gee, what the hell is this amazing like track doing here? And it really is amazing. Like it's flowing, it's fast, it's got elevation changes. It's a riot of a racetrack. So anybody that hasn't tried Thunderhill, you're going to convert them when they show up, which is cool.
I hope so. I mean, again, we're just trying to have fun, man. And that's kind of the goal here.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So, Mike, speaking of having fun, um, how are things progressing on the Ultimate Grand Tour that you own?
Oh, on the Daytona, on
Yeah.
that thing, they're moving along. Actually, it's almost done. I've been saying this for 5 years that it's almost done, um, but it actually is coming to a close, which is good. We've had some amazing partners on that car. Holly, QA1, bunch of others. I mean, we decided it came back from Michigan last, I think it was July or August, and it was still running torsion bars. And it was one of those things like we've taken it so far with the modded Red Eye engine and the ZF8 speed and everything else. We're like, we got to get some real legs under this thing. And so we did full QA1 front to back with coilovers and, a proper four link in the rear and beefed up the axles. I mean, it's a 900 horsepower absurd land missile at this point. But the good part is now it will go around a corner. And, we made it. That car was made for events like One Lap. So the first time I ran One Lap, I think was '09, and we did it in my 68 Charger. And that was just an old school muscle car with a big block. And that was a terrible idea because we broke down every day. Um, but the Daytona is essentially a modern car now. So it's going to be really, really interesting. And if the car is done by the time One Lap is hitting, then we'll take it. So if not, we'll show up in something else. So
There you go. Yeah, and hopefully we'll get you out to West Coast as well and something fun.
yeah, absolutely.
So we've got about 10 minutes until we open up Howard's bar, and we flood everything. And this is something cool that we're gonna do. So Mike, you're familiar with Howard and Howard's bar,
Of
the back of
course.
his
Yeah.
Corvette, which he opens up to everybody. So we are gonna do that here tonight. So in about 10 minutes, I will go get my glass of whiskey. That is the prerequisite. You have to sit here with a glass of whiskey, and we will bring anybody in who would like to. We've put the link out to all the one lappers, and we're gonna
Sure.
talk about whatever we want to. I mean, I know I see the
Sure.
Kentucky boys are queued up, and I tell you, you haven't done the event since the Kentucky boys have started doing it, and here's why I really like them, because they fundamentally get the event. And I'll tell you what I mean. Here's a perfect example. So every year we have people doing offs and doing some landscaping with
Sure.
their cars and doing just some stupid shit, which is hilarious. They have now taken it upon themselves 2 years in a row. So now it's a thing and it has to keep happening. Otherwise, they can't come back.
Hmm.
So they've taken it upon themselves to go and get awards for these individuals. So last year they got a little a toy lawnmower as well as a few other things to present to people when they came up to get their award, and they continued that this year. So Toyota now 2 years in a row has won the landscaping award. They actually got a little tractor for Andrew Brownfield to ride in,
No.
and presented that to him at the awards banquet, and a toolkit for the car that kept breaking down the most throughout the event. And what else did they get, Brian? It was the toolkit, the chocolates, the whiskey balls for
Yeah.
Amanda, because Dubler always brings their stuff out, and he says, "No,
Hmm.
we make the best whiskey balls here. The Kentucky whiskey balls here,
Of
so
course.
Tennessee whiskey ball." So that was that was fun, and I just they're always up for it, So there's always shenanigans, and they're
Yeah.
always up for it. So very grateful to have them coming back again, and certainly adding to the event. One of the cool personalities. Again, I was going someplace with this. I've lost it. I've completely lost it.
Well, I mean, listen, I think the whole point of one lap is the individuals that, the people that come on it, right?
Yep.
It really is. And I think what most people forget is like once you get on, it really is. Even if you've taken, you can do it once, take 3 years off, whatever, come back 5 years later, you're still coming back to people who have done it. It's like reuniting with your favorite four-wheeled family, which is really cool.
Yeah. So my point was is that we're going to be opening up at 9 o'clock for everybody to come join and just shoot the shit and talk about whatever they would like to,
Cool.
which is sort of it'll be a nice thing. And it's funny because Brock was supposed to be here and he's not. He's off doing something else. He's otherwise indisposed. I guess his refrigerator got the wrong date or time on there, but
Maybe he's painting the wall.
Yeah.
maybe I doubt it. I
Yeah.
strongly doubt it. Here's what we can talk about in the last little bit here: the cars on the one lap. So I'll tell you, Mike, you and I we were having a discussion last week about just cars in general,
Yeah.
and this year we saw a proliferation of P cars
Hmm.
and Corvettes. I mean, I think Brian,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, I mean that was really what the majority of the field
Yeah.
was comprised of this year.
Makes sense.
But it does, but I mean, is that really what the performance envelope is now?
Well, I mean, I think I don't know, man. You know me. Like, I like analog stuff. My tastes kind of stop at 2015. Like, if it doesn't have an actual gauge with an actual needle on it, I'm like, I don't know. It's not my thing. You know what I mean? I'm not a tech guy. I'm not you know, listen, you and I grew up we started racing when cars didn't have anything,
Mhm.
right? There was no traction control. There was no anti-lock brake. So if you had to drive, you had to drive.
Yeah.
And the thing I hate about stuff now is they drive for you. And there's too many nannies and there's too many this. Whereas, and listen, we've all seen it, right? We see the guy in the 911 Turbo that shows up to the track and he's got his gloves and his suit and the whole thing, and he's, pimping himself out. And then all of a sudden, the guy that shows up in work boots, work gloves, a ratty helmet, and the Miata shows up, and I'm like, that's the guy I want to be friends with him
Yep.
because that's the guy that's going to be wicked fast.
Yeah.
And we all know this.
Mhm.
Not that there's anything wrong with these other cars, absolutely not. But sometimes technology gives too much of an edge, and people
Absolutely.
kind of forget how to wheel.
Absolutely. And to your point, and you bring up a good point because usually it's the guys with that are coming out with the high horsepower, high dollar stuff that are a little off limits, in terms of personality.
Hmm.
But that is not the case here. I mean, we had a GTD, we had GT3 RS out here, we had the ZR1, right? The new ZR1 out here.
Yeah, some
I
big
mean,
heavy hitters.
big heavy hitter, big dollar hitters too. And these are guys that
Yeah.
are fine with, I'm just going to go out and beat the crap out of it. And that's what's great because you can't baby your car on this event. There's just no way to do it.
No, no, you can't. I think, and God bless if somebody's going to go out and they're going to spend the money on like a GTD or a ZR1 or anything like that. Um, that's what they're made for. I mean, every time an engineer sees one of their cars getting flogged on a racetrack, they start clapping
Yep.
because they put so much time and energy, and the designers put so
Yep.
much time and energy into making
Yep.
these cars as good as they can be. And they hate the fact that people buy these things and they stick them in mothballs or
Let's go
put them in a
hard park
parking
it at
lot.
our local, Cars and Coffee, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, man, fuck that. Like, I'm a big proponent. Like, if you got it, beat it like it owes you money.
Yep.
You go around one time, like, what are you saving it for? Like, you bought it for an investment, then you bought the wrong goddamn car. You
Yeah.
know?
Yep. 100%. So, I mean, a lot of respect and a lot of, and what's nice is that just being a car guy, there's nobody who's jealous of it because we're all looking forward. We're all standing at
Oh
the
yeah,
edge of the front straight at Road America waiting for everything to go by. And that's like on one of the last days. And we've heard these things all week, but, when else are you going to hear these cars at full chat going by up a hill, pinned? It's fun.
yeah.
You can't
That's
help but,
great.
yeah.
No, and then the best part is you could see something like a Mustang GTD rip by, and in the same token, I don't know, somebody in an LTD station wagon might go by like the same day on the same track, and you're like, where universe is this?
We had
And
the
that's one
Country
of the best
Squire,
cars.
we had the Griswolds, and we had the Nomad.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yep.
mean that's right up your alley, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, that's cool.
the other big upset this year were the tires. I mean, the tires were a major factor, and
Yeah.
used to be, I think when you were running it, primarily was the Pilot Sports were the big
Yeah,
ones,
the
and then it
Super
was the
Sports.
4Ss.
Yep. Yep.
And now, Michelin's got a lot of competition. So, I mean, Michelin within their own
Yeah.
house, they've got the BFG rival. And then Bridgestone this year, I mean, over 30 teams running this. So almost half the field on the new Potenzas.
Well, tires are part of your strategy.
Yeah.
They are 100% part of your strategy. If you don't choose the right tire for this event, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And we all know this. And I think that, I think you're seeing more cars that are running a squared setup so they can rotate tires, cars with staggered setups, or it's tough if you're going to do that because you really have to take heed of your driving style and how much you're babying the tires and how much you're using them, because
Right.
once they're gone, they're gone.
Well, look, the
And
ZR1. I mean, that was by, what was it, Brian? Day 3, day 4. They
Day
had
four.
shoot day 4. They chewed through their fronts. Just
Yep.
because they're running, negative 2.5 degrees of camber static,
yeah,
and the tires were just dunzo. And they had to change out. They had to get another set. But guess what?
yep,
Now they're in exhibition only, so spending a lot of money on this card. I'll give what was it, Dave and Marcus credit, because they went out and they just still flogged it again and again and
yeah,
again. And it was
yeah,
just great to see out there, even though they were just running for uh,
sure,
getting made fun of at the end, and the all
yeah.
the Diamond Jim Brady Award there for wretched excess, spending the most with the least amount of return on there, right? So that I'll give them credit, they did it.
Oh, that's
Uh,
great. Very
but
cool.
yeah, certainly Bridgestone bringing the knives to the table here, yeah, and really showing what they have. And between the cold, between the rain, between the snow, even the engineers themselves from Bridgestone were surprised at High Plains as to how well that tire functioned in
Yeah,
conditions where it was clearly not
not
designed
meant
to
to
work.
be.
Under 45 degrees, snowy out. I mean, just
Yep.
hellacious, terrible conditions,
Yeah.
and it performed. I mean, yeah, I mean Tom O'Gorman in that GT3 RS setting, what was it, 4 lap records or something to that effect
He,
for
yeah,
That's
he
fantastic.
he broke the lap record on Sunday at Nashville. First street car ever at 1 second or less, and
Wow.
then he broke the record at
1 minute or
Blackhawk.
less.
Yeah, 1 minute or less. Sorry,
That would be impressive.
Jesus.
and then he broke
Good for
the
him.
track record at Blackhawk 3 times.
Yeah, yeah. Like he said, it broke it.
That's
Said it broke
great.
it. Said it broke it. Yeah, yeah. It was.
Yeah. That's
And
awesome.
and keep in mind that was the last track event.
Last day.
So I mean
Yeah.
you've now done a week of not babying the car, and those
Hmm.
tires are still performing really, really well. So
Yeah.
kudos to Bridgestone. And after speaking with Woody, we had some great conversations with him. And Woody, obviously, with the tire rack, the man, the myth, the legend. He's claimed to be the marketing director there, but he does so much more, or vice president of
Sure.
marketing, but he does everything there. And he's surmising that there's a lot of tire wars heating up. So whereas we have the horsepower wars, and now it's common to buy a car with 600 or equivalent to 1,000
Oh,
plus horsepower. I mean,
well,
it's yeah.
I mean, think about it, right? 10 years ago, when the Hellcats came out in 2015, 700 horsepower was unheard of.
Yep.
Now, 700 horsepower is commonplace.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I mean, the event has changed so much in power numbers right now.
Mhm.
Where guys used to think showing up they had a 600 horsepower car, they were going to decimate everybody, and now it's just like you might not even be. I mean, unless you're a real shoe, I got news. You're going to be outclassed quick.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah. All right. So it is 9 o'clock. So we can continue this discussion. Let's try and see if this works. So I'm gonna open up Howard's bar here. So as you can see, we've got Howard's bar here
mhm.
already set up. And let's see if this works. So we've got some guests. Hello, people.
You got to lean in here.
Oh,
What up?
what's up? There's the Kentucky boys up here at our top left. We have some guests who aren't here, or they've popped out. I'm not sure, but oh well. I see John McKinnon there. I see.
Yeah.
Go ahead, guests. Introduce thyselves. Not all at once. God.
Oh,
We're
Oh,
Wayne
missing.
Dynasty Racing. John McKinnon here.
There you go. We're missing lots of people here for some reason, and I'm not sure why. I think
Is there a max limit to this thing?
no. Well, I mean 10 or so, but I mean we've got a bunch of guests here who aren't currently on, so that's okay. But we can just pull up a chair, and if people join in, they'll join in. Um, I was gonna say, John, you're missing the whiskey, but you're driving, so maybe
Yeah.
just drink and drive later once you get home in your
Yeah.
in your driveway.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tyler,
What's up,
how you doing?
Kentucky?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you introduce your co-driver who was new this year?
Yeah. So Baker didn't make it. He's being a bitch. So, uh, Tom, he's new to one lap this year. He's a lap pup. He done it with Mark, in the Mustang this year. So it was his first one lap. So Tom came on board with us and started doing a little lemon racing with us, and uh, he actually bought a Supra from me. So now he's got a Supra
Nice.
and starting to develop that car. So now we both got Supras. So we're starting to work on that.
What would you all
And
take on this year's one lap?
we took we got a C6 vet back here, and we was going to retire it after this year, but somehow we done well in it this year, and I decided to buy an LS7 and put in it now. So we're gonna bring it one more year to see what we can do with more power.
That
Car's
sounds
been
great.
good to us, so I screwed up. Give me some seat time in my Supra to get to know the car, start developing
Yep.
it, and I got a bunch to work on it this winter with, and get a little seat time, and then maybe by the year after we'll be ready for it.
Nice. Very cool.
That's our game plan.
So how many times have y'all done the event so far?
Oh, how many times we complete it?
No, how many times did you show up to start?
How many times did you start? Let's put it that way.
I think this was our 5th year. I want to say it was our 5th year. This year was.
Oh, nice.
The first year back from COVID, which was what, Solomon, 22?
Yeah,
21.
After each one 40.
21.
Yep. So
21,
This
they
is
blew
our-
up day one.
yeah.
Very cool.
Somehow Brock told everybody at the novice meeting this year, don't be the Kentucky boys when you come and blow up 4 engines in 1 week. So we about nearly didn't come back after the first year just because it was no sleep and a lot of wrenching. But
Well, we're glad you did. And Mike, these are the guys I was telling you about with the awards who are
Yeah.
handing them out. So that's
That's great.
So
yeah, so we brought that same car. It was a C5 back the second year and did make it all the way to the last event. And then we snapped the tail shaft off the tranny because my co-driver knew it was popping, and some dumb reason he decided to do a burnout to heat the tires up. So we didn't make it. That was the last track. Our third year, I bought a C6, put it together. We had a rear main seal back out at Road Atlanta that year. And then thankfully I had a buddy that works at Fox Shocks down there. So he had a barn. We pulled it in this barn with limited tools, put it on jack stands, and I don't know if you ever tore a Corvette apart, but it's no easy task.
No.
We had to pull, exhaust, rear end, torque tube all the way to the back of the motor. That night, got a rear main seal put in the car. Then we couldn't find a clutch alignment tool, so we had to go to the parts house, and they ask you like, what wipers does it take just to get a clutch tool?
Mm-hmm.
But we was able to. They actually let us borrow one out of a clutch kit for a F-body Camaro, which is the same style. Put the clutch in, got it all together. The next morning we finished it up, and then we missed Nashville, I think, that year. And the next event was in Texas. What was that track, Solomon?
Eagles Canyon.
Eagles.
Yep, Eagles Canyon. So we were due to be 2 hours late for that track the next morning by GPS time. So we drove all through the night at 55
kilometers per hour.
110 kms. That's
Yeah.
right. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We made it to that track with 10 minutes to spare. Made it, got it, and completed the track, and made the rest of the event fine. So we missed the track that year, and then last year we had a few hiccups. I broke a suspension. I think I don't remember where we're at. Out in Kansas City, somewhere close to there. It was what was that track? The private owned track.
Hedge Hollow.
Yeah, that's some rough roads out through there. And busted a coilover. Met a guy that actually had posted on a Corvette for him. Anybody in this area? There was a guy right there in Kansas City. He's like, bring it to my shop. I'll fix it. He welded that coilover, somehow welded it back together, and it stuck. And I ran that same coilover that wasn't adjustable after that for like the next year. And I only bought a nice set of coilovers for the car. And this year, and we were doing really well this year. Our first track at Nashville, my alternator took a shit on track, and the car died.
Yep.
And we went running like top 10 all the way down to 53rd for evening session. And I had to limp the car the whole way because traction control was on. I couldn't get it turned off. It wouldn't turn off, and the car didn't have any power.
Yeah, we saw that in Arkansas.
Yeah, so the alternator we knew was bad, and then I called O'Reilly's. Thankfully, they had a hub there, and those alternators are really hard to find for those cars, like the correct one. And they had one in that huge warehouse, and we went over there and bought it. We made it to, where was it?
Arkansas.
Right in the edge of Arkansas, when it finally just decided to completely die on us. And changed it out. It's an easy job. It was a 15-minute job, but after that, we were golden. We done well the rest of the events. But
so let me ask you something. Assuming you wanted to have an easier time with this event, but still be competitive, what car would you take?
Oh,
your ideal car. What would you take?
Best bang for the buck, Supra, hands down. I think that's a car to be reckoned with. They're fast. You can buy them really reasonable. I debated on that and the C8. My business partner just bought a C8. He's going to track next year. So I was stuck in between that because, the Kentucky boys, everybody think, oh, you're going to get a Corvette. And I'm like, let's change it up. So I did. After I talked to some people, it drove both cars, and I decided to make the move to buy a Supra. So, but like I said, the car done well this year. I think at every event we were underpowered. Our car only makes like 480 to the wheel. So with the LS7, I should make more like 650. So I think that will be a little bit more competitive as long as we can hold it together.
So ASM Motorsports is saying a C8, but I mean, you guys were talking about it. ASM, Andy Smegard, right, and Alex, and but you guys you're saying you didn't feel as competitive. So is this something where you're going to stay with the C8 platform? I mean, you guys can feel free to join us and hear and chat about it. So grab the link off of Discord and just come join. But yeah, I mean, let us know. Come on in. Dad bod car mod.
I think I think the biggest thing is there have been so, to your point, there have been so many. The field of modern sports cars, modern fast cars right now is like nothing anybody's ever seen, right? You've got, and between Porsche and Chevrolet and Ford, Toyota and BMW, you have cars that are just, you couldn't even fathom these cars 10 years ago, right? Right. And the power that they have, the G's that they pull, the reliability, it's, people said, a lot of times for sports cars, we're living in the golden age. And it's true. Now, I don't know with the technology if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And Saul and I were talking about this before because, I'm kind of a Luddite. I like old school analog stuff, and I feel like a lot of the technology just kind of makes heroes out of idiots, which,
But you bought a car with an
um,
OB2, so I don't know, man.
I did. I did buy a car. It's my first car with an OBD2 in years.
Yep.
So,
I
but
feel like a
that
lot of the
doesn't
newer
change the
cars.
fact.
I feel like a lot of the newer cars almost drive the car for you, and that's kind of like take a good driver, a decent driver, and put them in a well developed newer car, and it's like they're fast all of a sudden. So as long as they're balls
Yeah.
enough to hang into it and do it. But it's amazing. Like when even like 5 years ago when I started, like I remember that Matt guy was in just a literally a Cam C5 with a little bit of aero, and like he was like top 10, and that was like I felt like the times then. If you look at the times at the tracks, like every year, it just gets faster and faster and faster. And it's like how long can we just keep going at that rate to keep developing these cars to just make them just what? It's just insane to me.
Right.
And then the tires even.
I'd like to. You should have Solomon. You guys need to do like a full analog class. You know what I mean? Like no nannies, no traction control, no
But
anti-lock brakes, like
that's
full
what I
on
was trying to
analog
put
class.
vintage into. My idea for vintage was anything pre OBD2, because a lot of the management, a lot of being able to play with stuff came once that happened. And I think at this point, I mean, Brock and I were talking about it, was, now you're past that 25-year point anyhow to that OBD2. So
Sure.
anything pre then, I think really is considered vintage because it is largely different driving styles.
Everybody's bringing me Otis next year. Is that what I heard?
Yeah. I mean, well, you crashed yours. Well, we're supposed to do a champ car race or whatever, Lemons race with you guys, and I was like, "Oh yeah, come on, let's do it." And then they crashed it like 2 weeks before. I'm like, "What the hell?" So, ASM Motorsports saying the C8 showed a lot of potential for being only a Z51 with a few easy bolt-on mods. I think we'll have something a bit more powerful next year. Okay, but I wish you could just join us and you could tell us live. But yeah,
that car definitely impressed me.
Well, they always come well prepared, and whether or not they have to wrench on it, I mean, they're doing a lot of testing on the platforms that they're choosing, and they're showing again well prepared and being driven really well. So they generally wind up toward the pointy end. But when you say more powerful, I mean, are you just making that car more powerful? Are you going to use a different platform? Inquiring minds want to know. So yeah.
Well, I think there comes a point where you can only use so much power, right? I mean that's the whole thing. I think a lot of people are just like, I need more, 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 more.
Mm-hmm.
But 90% of the people, like, put somebody going from 500 horsepower to like 800 or 900 horsepower or more than that is a massive, massive jump.
Oh, yeah.
That people are, they are just not prepared for that. And it's one of those things that you think you're prepared for that, and then you do it, and you're like, what the frick is going on? Like, it's a thing. And then when you're doing it, and you're trying to drive these things in anger.
Yeah.
Game, man. Like trying to rein all that stuff in, that's a lot.
Oh yeah. There we go. So we've got Brian. Hey, there we go. Brian Hubert is joining us.
Yep, I'm here.
Hey, Brian Hubert. Welcome. Pull up a whiskey.
No whiskey. It's too late in the evening for whiskey for me.
Howard would be disappointed by quite a lot, but anyway. So what do you got to contribute to the conversation, Brian?
As usual, nothing. I'm just here to have fun.
Fair enough. Go amongst yourselves. What are you going to bring the same thing next year, Brian, or what are your plans? Or
I haven't talked it over with the boss yet as far as the plans for next year. The plan is tentatively to come again next year and then probably take the following year off. I was going to do an every other year, but I'm kind of in that mode where I want to go and just keep the momentum going. And I had a pretty good year this year, all things considered, with me. So I'd like to go next year.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do, we'll be bringing the Cayman again.
Okay. So you had a good time. And ASM saying that a Z06 makes the most sense, but at least 500 horsepower I think would be nice. So to your point, Mike, not going overkill on the horsepower, enough usable. But
Mhm.
but again, if we pick tracks with elevation,
Yeah,
down straights, you need a little more than that to be able to compete with like a GT3
Yeah.
RS or with or something with a lot of power.
sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
Road America.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Well,
of
Road
trail
America is
race,
one of those. It
a
is a
lot of
lot
power.
of. I mean, you got 350 plus mile an hour straights at Road America. That's a
Yeah.
fast track.
Yeah.
That is a
Yeah, it is.
fast track. But what a brilliant race. That's my favorite track in the country. I love that place.
I still love
That's
it
always
when we do that and Brainerd, the old Donnybrook circuit, back to back. I mean, that to me, I mean,
yes.
Oh,
look, we did
Brandon's.
we did Brainerd together in 19, and we were chasing each other down the
Yeah,
front street. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
Brainerd is one of those front straights that nobody's prepared for.
yeah.
You look down, you're doing 165, 170. You're like, whoa, this is. And there's
And
a
then
corner coming
turn
up, and you're
one,
like,
yeah, and
whoa,
then turn
okay.
one comes up on you, and there's no guardrail, there's no fencing, there's nothing
Mm-mm.
there except for like grass and then trees. So if you have a
Mm-hmm.
bad day, that track was built when drivers were expendable. I mean, 100%, and that is certainly the philosophy on that track. Um, but but the Kentucky boys, you had a lap pup this year. He's been very very quiet. Is he still recovering? I mean, what was your experience like?
I'm just glad to be here.
What, making it like alive to the end? That could
That's
mean a lot
Officially,
of
yeah.
things.
So
that's
it,
what he
it,
said every day at one lap. I'm just
it
glad to be here.
it's funny you bring up the horsepower thing. So, fun fact: my racing career has been revolved around Miatas. All the generations of Miatas. I have a lap prepped Indy Miata that I've done a couple things in, and then I jump into Mark Thompson's 600, 700 horsepower Mustang that I had driven 10 minutes before we ever got to the first track that I drove. Yeah, it was the best word to put, terrifying. you know, definitely an experience. My wife was actually super supportive of everything. She followed me or followed the YouTube channel every night. So I do appreciate you all putting that on. She knew more about the teams than I did, which was interesting.
Did
But
she
definitely
up the
plan on
life
coming back.
insurance being very supportive of this before you left?
Uh, I didn't tell her I was doing it,
Oh,
so
so shit.
yeah, this kind of happened. But no, it was a once in a lifetime experience for sure. Definitely going to come back. I think I'm going to do the same route as Tyler. I think I'm going to give it a year, or actually a couple years in the Supra before we do that. Of course, we've got some data that we've been putting together, and I think we're going to build them kind of similarly. I'm not going to do as much power as he is, just for my own sake and sanity.
Bit.
But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
He's-
Solomon, which car won
Good or
this
bad,
year?
there's
What was
two
the make and
options.
model?
GT3 RS.
GT3, was it stock?
Yeah. I mean, but
Yeah,
that's like saying, Usain Bolt won the sprint against a bunch of
of
blind
course.
nuns, who were crippled.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
I
But
mean,
I mean,
come
when you think about it, right? I mean, it's one of those things where you know GT3 RSs and ZR1Xs and all this other stuff that's coming out right now. The fact that you can go buy a stock car from a dealer, not do a goddamn thing to it, except slap a set of tires on it and go. That's kind of shocking. I mean, these are cars that are competing with full on race cars from 15, 20 years ago,
I
which
mean,
is
oh yeah,
nuts.
100%. I mean, the last time
I
we
think
saw anybody take a stock vehicle, legitimately stock, was I think
Robert.
Robert in the GTR.
Yeah,
I
Robert
think the
Lee.
Yeah,
ZR1 tires left the chat.
What's that?
I think the ZR1 tires left the chat though.
Oh well, yeah. Well, the ZR1. Well, I can't count them because they were just running exhibition.
Yeah, I know.
Because again,
but I think every now and
It's
let me
Bluetooth
ask you
tires.
this. So every now and then a car comes along that just decimates, right? So remember when the GTR first came out and it won like 3 years in a row. And then that was the one lap car, right? It just came out and just started crushing
Yeah.
everybody. And everybody's like, I gotta get a GTR, gotta get a GTR. And that was it, and nothing could beat it. Now it's like, oh, you got a GTR, okay. Like
Yeah.
still a great car, but not even really in contention from where
But
it
here's the thing.
was.
I think it could still be. I just think that it's been
Yeah.
done so many times that
Yeah.
it doesn't hold that appeal anymore to car guys, I guess. So if
Yeah.
I still maintain, if you were going out to just win the event, be relatively comfortable, not have to put a ton of work into it, I still think the GTR is probably one of the best cars to do that with. Um,
Yeah.
just because between the Attesta system and all the available mods to it, the power that it can make, that's pretty darn reliable at this point because you don't have to turn it up to 11. And
Right.
any all-wheel drive car in the rain at this point, barring drivers like Tom O'Gorman behind the wheel, you are going to have a significant advantage off the line that over 3 laps, you're not going to make up that delta.
Adds up.
So you
Right.
need for the rest of us mere mortals, you need something with that grip off of the line and that oomph off the line. But then you look at something like Team PGR, who absolutely, I mean, just kills it every time, and they've developed that car to the point of where it is a constant threat and a constant contender. That Tesla Model S that is developing ungodly amounts of power that can, and we've seen this at Putnam, where it's getting very out of shape, and then they just kind of straight out the wheel, and the thing just goes okay and goes. A very very GTR esque in that sense, and it is just stupid fast. So you've got cars that are just outliers that are throwing themselves into the mix, which is what's I think caused a lot of the diversity in the top, let's say 5 or 6, even though we see a lot of P cars and a lot of Corvettes these days. So there's
But you
some
know
of the
what's funny?
technology that's
Yeah.
coming into play. Go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
Remember last year we started looking at times from when Lee and Doug were winning year after year in the GTR, and of course that was what was that? That was like the Alpha 7 and Alpha
Yeah, the
8.
Alpha 12. Well, no, they were running the Alpha 12 kit.
Okay, was okay, but we were comparing times, and with the cars at that time, it was going to be tough to have Lee in the top 10.
Yeah. Yep. You're right.
But even with how amazing of a driver he is, and how completely insanely talented that Doug is at building a car.
Hmm.
But yeah, I still would like to see the two of them come back in something just stupid and just show everybody how it's really done.
It'd be great,
Interesting.
and I know they were trying this year, just didn't work out. But now that we've got our Blair Witch Project, John McKinnon cameraman here, finally sitting down in a stationary place here, and I'd like to do this before it gets too late here. John, welcome. Nice to see you, well
Thank
lit
you.
and stationary. And I'd like to first propose a toast to your former co-driver, who I know was hanging along with us in spirit this year, to Wendell Sasser, and to your new co-driver, your son. I think you guys did a great job. So cheers to you guys. Thank you
Thank
very much for
you.
coming out and being a part of
Thank
this.
you.
And
That was
Very
great.
cool.
And Solomon, I'm going to take the opportunity since you've gone there. I want to thank everybody that was at one lap. Thank you, Brian.
yep.
That's special. I want to thank everybody that was there this year for the support and wrapping around me, and it was really great. The I mean, with Tyler and them from the Kentucky Boys and everybody, it was just unbelievable. And Brian Huber and Tom Freeman, and eh, you know I was apprehensive a little bit before we pulled into South Bend when Jared and I left Charleston heading up there. Wasn't sure kind of how I was going to react, how it was going to be, and I from the moment we landed and started seeing everybody and getting around everybody, it was it was fantastic. And I will tell you that after we got back home, because I hadn't had a chance to talk to y'all, after we came back from South Bend, we drove to Charleston, and then I left from Charleston, drove over to Savannah. It was really a strange feeling. I told my wife, I said it's like this big weight's been lifted off of me. It's like I went through this first one lap. Wendell and I did it for 5 years straight. And now I went through this new one lap with me and my son, who we're going to do it forever as far as we can see. But it was like this big weight was lifted. And I talked to Wendell during the week, that week. I can tell you without a doubt. And it was, you want to talk about the epitome of the one lap family? And really, yeah, big cars, fast cars, like Mr. Musto's talked about, everything, just incredible machinery. But it really does come back to the people. It absolutely comes back to the people involved. And it's, man, we can't put that into words. We really can't. We can talk about it, and you guys know, everybody on here knows. But when we tell other people that, yeah, we were out there with a bunch of badass cars and a bunch of badass people, and and doing some badass tracks, but that really wasn't it. It was everybody walking around together, and here I feel like I'm a living testimony to it. 6 years later, here I am going through one of the worst periods of my life, and man, one lap surrounded me. It absolutely and I know it's done it for other people too. I know I'm not the only one there, but man, it was I'm ignited for life. I'm telling you, it's got me.
Yeah.
Mike will tell you, I mean, and Brian will tell you, back in 19 when I lost my dad, and I alluded to this at the awards banquet. Being Jewish, we sit shiva for for a certain amount of days, and then legitimately, I planned it out so this way, the day that I finished sitting shiva, which is when you're mourning and you rip clothes and the whole nine yards, I got up, I packed everything into the Shelby that he and I had bought, and I drove out. And where did I meet you guys? Was it
Nelson.
the Nelson Ledges?
Yep.
Nelson, and the car was not prepared. It was not so much so that I had spacers and everything else in the car. And as I get to the hotel that night, I forget where we were staying, but I'm under the portico at the hotel and I'm working once I get there. I'm putting the spacers on, trying to get the wheels to fit properly on the car. But to your point, I couldn't think of a better place and better people who I wanted to be around than my one lap family, because for that rest of the week, I think I missed 2 days, but for the rest of the week, I didn't have to think about real life. I was able to escape and be with my other family, right? And that was instrumental in in sort of me getting over, or not getting over, but coping with it, because I know that I was doing it in a car that he and I had gotten together, that there was history in, and I could feel him with me. And I had my brother Brian, obviously next to me the whole time, and Mike, we were just competing with against each other, and that was super super important. So I fully get what you're saying. Oh, and guess who's decided to show up here? By the way, speaking of legends and
Oh,
myths,
Good morning, boys and girls.
good morning, Brock.
What's up, bro?
Sorry to be late. I had therapy to deal with you folks.
Wait, are you eating ice cream when you're supposed to?
Yeah, I stopped for a blackberry ice. What do you think? I'm some sort of creep?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, this just got lively. So we were just shooting this shit. We're in Howard's bar right now. So welcome, Brock. How's your night going?
And actually, it's really nice. I'm perfectly happy. But no, I tuned in a little bit, but I heard John talking and I couldn't get on, so I figured I'd get an ice and make it all better.
Is that dessert bourbon infused?
Sorry? Yeah,
Is that
no, Howard's not here.
Kick him out, or kick him out, Solomon.
What? I can't. It's got the event's got his name on it. Even though
I can go.
No, don't go.
Dinner.
Don't go.
So, Brock, what was
You know?
your best moment on the event this year? What were you happiest about? And don't say when we got to the end and everybody's safe, because that's cheesy, shitty answer that we hear every time. Yeah. Give me a good one.
But it's the only honest one I have. I mean, really.
What's your second honest?
When I leave, no, I
Mike, this is what I'm up against all the time. Like this.
Dinner with Scotty when the rest of you nice people leave. I know it. No, it was a good week. It was obviously I was panicked at Road America for what appears to be good reason, but
So much so that you
everything
left.
else. I actually had a great time at High Plains. I thought that was the best day ever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you love it when it's wet outside and cars get to slide around and scare people and all that kind of fun stuff.
Everybody's miserable and I think rain is a great equalizer. So I think it's as it should be.
So, Mike, you got to spend a few days with Brock a few months ago, or about 6 months ago, I guess. So you guys were touring around a little bit. How was that?
October,
yeah, okay.
It was good. It was good. I mean, we decided to have a little fun. Yeah, it was. Working with Hemmings. It's a company that's been around forever, and one of the biggest things is at its core, right? It's a big marketplace. We've got X amount and thousands upon thousands of cars. So I was like, well, why don't we create something that actually gets people's asses in the seats of these cars to make them understand why they're buying these cars? And this is what I always tell people. I'm like, you can go out and you can spend, $600 or $600,000, and you're not buying the car itself, right? What you're buying is the experience of that car. What you're buying is the result of that car. And the fact is, most people who buy these things never use them in the fashion that they're supposed to be used in. And they have no idea what it's like to go on a rally, what it's like to just hang out with like-minded people, what it's like to just, get to a bar at the end of the day and unwind and talk about what they hit, what they dodged, what happened, what didn't happen, what was their favorite part. And, we had so much fun. We're doing it again. We're doing it again in October, and it's going to be a riot. And
well, what is yours in October? Yours is, I guess, before ours, right? I think.
I believe it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
There you go.
So
you're just going to go right from yours into ours.
I mean, it's fine with me.
Yeah,
I don't care. I mean, this is the thing, right? I think, I've been lucky enough to make a career and make people think that I actually have a real job, which cracks me up. I still feel like I'm fooling everybody. So
I know that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but you don't look like you have a job. Mike looks like he might have a job.
He's just better looking and taller.
Well, I mean, there are other things, but there's.
But only you would know about that one.
No, I'm not going there. But don't make me bring up SCCA Targa, and then get your Irish up.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, yeah. They can kiss my ass.
He's not happy about that one.
So. No, but to go to Mike's point, I mean, there was a lot of people there that enjoyed their cars, if not for the first time, but in an unusual fashion, got to actually experience, the open roads and the beauty of the cars in California, and I think I had just as much fun in that little Elantra.
I don't think that Elantra knew what hit it. That poor Elantra had no concept of what it was going to go through when you got behind the wheel.
Neither the poor guy in the R8, poor guy in the R8 Audi in front of me.
All right,
Bitch showed
Dustin.
up.
Oh, it was so much
Dustin
fun
has
to watch.
entered the chat. We've got Beavis
Marker
and Butthead
Button.
here now.
This party sucks.
It is a bit of a sausage party, so it's fine though.
Where's Mark?
Where's
There's
all the hot
Mark.
girls at?
He's right there at the bottom.
Oh my!
Talking about Humphreys?
Oh yeah, there he is.
I'm the sexiest bitch here.
Oh man! Oh boy! I don't know. I've got very little left. We're reaching the end of it, but I feel like we should say something of importance because Brock's finally here with the steering wheel in his frame. But that's I don't know, Mike. Well,
It does. I can make it worse. It
No, that's not too bad.
Here. Is this better? Nothing makes me look good, but the steering wheel.
yeah, that's better. Brock, what was the talking about West for a second? What was the road you were talking about next to the river there? You were suggesting we hit in the morning after leaving, sort of the outskirts of Portland.
Well, I talked to a guy, and yes, I mean there are no hotels there are some in the Dales, and but they're quite a ways from the racetrack, so you really got to stay somewhere close to Portland. And I-84 takes you west along the Columbia River through Cascade Locks, by the Multnomah Falls, and by Mount Hood, and it's a gorgeous drive.
That's pretty. That's really pretty.
Yeah, it is. And it goes all the way out to, you get way too far, and then you turn right and you go down to ORP. And there's one note we need to include is that there's no services going south at all, or virtually, for a long time. So we're going to have to make sure everybody gets gas. But that too is going to be a unusually, kind of pretty desolate, kind of interesting leg all the way down to California. But no, the Columbia River Gorge is really, really gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So yeah, that's the plan is to hit that in the morning and then get to ORP and run there, because then it's a fairly short transit down the Thunderhill after that. So it should be we can get a little bit later start in the day. And I don't know, Brock, do you think we can find any ovals out there, or any short ovals? Because I think people really seem to like that.
My minivan didn't.
Well, I think the beginning of that sentence explained why.
I'm not going to explain to the rental-car company why there was no right-side tires. But no, it's I don't know. It used to be that there were only dirt tracks out there. I don't know. Mike would know if there's any paved ovals. I mean, Paris is open still, I think.
I don't. That's a great question. I don't know if there are. I haven't been on any.
Las Vegas has a quarter. LVMS has a quarter mile.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, we could ostensibly do that, I suppose, in the morning before Spring Mountain, because we've got enough time. And from Spring Mountain to Laguna is not a far trek, so we could ostensibly do that, or on the way back.
Well, we do it in the morning before the awards, like instead of a skid pad.
That's true. We can probably do that. It's my son. He's looking good. Come here. Come on, buddy. You can say hi.
David.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
Twice in a week, David.
When is he driving?
Mike?
That's crazy. That's good. Yeah, I mean, no, we could do that instead of this skid pad. Because I was trying to think of some way, because I think Spring Mountain also does have a skid pad that we could theoretically do something on there as well. But it would be starting with a dry skid pad as opposed to a wet skid pad.
Yeah, there's no water out there. It if you wet down the skid pad, it costs you a fortune.
I mean, unless the Kentucky boys like lose a radiator or something.
Oh,
We could all pee on it. I don't
I could pee on it at the same time.
Yeah.
Just drive around in circles, Brock, with the minivan and like put a bucket of water out there.
everybody, open the doors. Everybody will be pissed out the back.
All right, buddy. Good night, pal. But yeah.
Yeah. No, it's no. I mean, skid pad'd be nice, but I don't know if one is required in the West Coast event as it is in the East Coast, and whether or not there'd be any value for the tire manufacturers in the West Coast. But I'm open to anything. But there is an oval at LVMS, and that's really convenient.
Okay, well maybe we try and plan that out. Then we could hit almost every single track on the West Coast at that point.
This is Howard's Bar, right?
You're missing a bunch up in the Northwest, and I guess there's other than what's that one? Is it Holt? Yeah, the Holt down near the border. That's about it. So.
Well, there's a bunch in Arizona that we missed also. I mean, there are other tracks, but within reason. So yeah.
Considering how bad people out west are at driving when the wet stuff falls, at least in California, I think that's a fantastic equalizer.
There you go.
He's not wrong.
Well,
he is not wrong.
No, Seattle folks and Oregon folks will be just fine. But all these all the LA candy asses are going to lose their minds in about a mile.
So what you're saying is we need to budget in for a water truck that we just drive around on the track first, and then just have some segments that are hazard segments.
How about a water truck that just it goes down the track ahead of you and just paints the road wet.
That's also, by the time we get to Laguna, it'll be the second day, and we'll have pretty an order sorted out. So the fastest cars, we could just send the water truck out first down the corkscrew and wet that braking zone, and then we can see how well people do.
The great equalizer. I'll tell you, High Plains was the first time I'd ever been on a track in the wet, and we were on Continental, but it was a spectacular experience. It is interesting how many people get in here and go in circles and then stop paying attention to all the skills they have.
Yeah.
But I thought it was fantastic to actually be there just long enough to feel tire temp come up, grip come in, and it was that. Plus, the track was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, but to your point, even in the wet, it's hard to do even what you're supposed to do in a competition environment. I'll give you an example. So was it Brian at Putnam? I think it was a couple of years ago, and it was just starting to rain again, and you want to stay offline. You want to kind of take a rain line when that happens, and Randy was saying very much so. The last corner, stay to the outside. Just take a much wider line, get out very much close to the curbing, but stay out there, and because that's really where the grip is. And I'm behind the wheel, and in here, I know that's where I need to be. But as I'm coming up to the corner in running hot, I'm like, no, and you realize it's still a mistake. So you get better every lap as you're learning. But there's, even as experienced as you can be, sometimes it's just, I don't have the balls to quite do it yet because it's very much out of the comfort zone on a track that I've not been at before. So yeah, it is truly a challenge.
Yeah, it was very unsettling for my first time at High Plains this year. I'd never been on a wet track before. And the fact that I was able to do 125 plus in the Cayman down that front straight going into that braking zone and didn't really have an idea of, is the car going to stop? Is the back end going to come out behind me? And it was a lot more grip. Those tires were really good. And even in the cold weather, it was actually, by the afternoon session, it was a lot more fun at that point.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's a lot more grip in the rain than you think, as long as you're nice and smooth, and you don't jerk the car, you don't drop the clutch. I mean, there's a lot of grip there.
It's a good
The
equalizer for sure.
yeah, the
Because notice they always
Continental.
like horsepower guys. Whenever you're in the rain, you can see who's the driver and who's not, because it doesn't matter how much horsepower you have at that time. You see who's pushing it and who's not.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The Continentals for us on the ZL1 was I wasn't sure, how it was really going to grip with that power. It was great. Jared in the rain just nailed it with it, and it just surprised me. I've driven in the rain before, but not with that kind of power and not with those tires, and it really performed really well.
I mean, look, the
It wasn't his
Contis are
car.
known for having that edge in the wet. I mean, every
Yep.
time they generally do well, but again, those Bridgestones were creeping up there. I mean, they really were giving everybody a hell of a time.
Yeah, it's going to cause us all to take a relook next year when it comes to tire choosing time.
It's going to cause a lot of people to take a second look. I think Michelin's dominance with the PS4S is over. But again, speaking with Woody, there's a lot of stuff coming out. And one of the things that we were starting to get into before in the actual show portion, before opening up Howard's Bar, was that a lot of the sort of B tire manufacturers are coming out with offerings that are just as good, if not equivalent to some of the performance of the premium tire brands. And as the cost of that technology and the accessibility of that technology has gotten a lot more commonplace, and readily available to some of these manufacturers, you're going to see the tire wars really heating up over the next 3-4 years. So I
Yeah.
think we're really going to see some interesting choices from some brands that you might not have expected emerging as top contenders pretty soon.
Well, I
Speaking
figured
of
that kind
that,
of figured that out once
what
we got that tire list from Christine and them at Tire Rack, and I open it up, and all I'm seeing is RE71 RZs, and
Yeah.
just with the RZs, there were, I think, 28 teams
yeah.
running the RZ, and then you had another 6 or 7 teams that were just running the RE71. So
Yep.
it was incredible how everything has changed over just the past 3 or 4 years from
Yep.
Michelin now to Bridgestone.
Yep.
And it
And
still
it'll
hasn't
change
stuck
again soon.
in and everything else, but that was a big jump this year.
Absolutely.
So now that we're into this, Super 200 category of tire, and I read way too much about it. Most of you probably saw James from Tire Reviews in the E36, I think it was, BMW.
Yep.
Wonderful gentleman. I get the impression from him and his teammate, who is a BFG employee, that they're kind of investigating some other stuff to bring to market. Which currently most of the BFG rival stuff is for lighter weight cars, and so it's not happy on a Camaro or the Vatican or whatever. But Vitor was a brand that that seems to have done very well, and I'm wondering if we have any talk if they're going to show up.
So they
Well, they've
tried.
got,
They just did. They weren't willing to come into the co-op, and they weren't willing to work with Tire Rack. So it's not as though they didn't that Tire Rack didn't try to bring them in. They weren't willing to. So talk to Vittor's marketing people and have them join.
yeah, it's up to them. It's Tire Rack if they have to do the deal, and until they're approved and until they're willing to work with Tire Rack, and they're not eligible. And
So
they're also incredibly active marketing. They called me directly about sponsoring the event, and I said no. I mean, this is not going to happen. Have a nice day.
Tire Rack sells
What
their
great
tires.
marketing it would be if they dominated.
This is big fan. They have to do it.
Oh,
They have to
okay.
reach.
So here's the way it works. Yeah, for those of you who would like to see how the sausage is made. So Tire Rack, obviously a great supporter in Brock. We were talking about this earlier. We were speaking with Dan and Woody at the end of the event, and we realized that next year we actually have an anniversary. We have 25 years with Tire Rack that we're going to be promoting. So that's super important. But the way that it works, because obviously, look, it's a sponsorship, and they're not just doing this out of a kindness of their heart because they like motorsport. It's got to be a business decision. So the way that it works, apart from people buying tires from them for our event, which helps offset the sponsorship costs, is that the tire manufacturers put into something called a co-op, and that marketing co-op, those dollars go toward sponsoring events like the One Lap of America, and the One Lap of America West, right? So the manufacturers have to put in dollars to that co-op for marketing, and then that's why we don't, as an organization, promote one brand of tire over the other. We'll talk about the tire performances, obviously, but we won't focus in and hone in on one brand of tire because of that co-op. So Tire Rack will go out and say, okay, you're interested in tires, go to our website, tirerack.com, and learn, educate yourself about the tires for your application for your vehicle, and then purchase. So they're advertising and marketing that whole co-op. So Vitor has the opportunity, if anybody is speaking with their marketing individuals, say, hey, we love to see you in the One Lap. Throw some dollars into that co-op, become a certified tire for the One Lap, and come out and join the fun. So we can have you in this conversation. But that's how the sausage is made for that one.
Basically, the sponsorship is paid by the tire companies based on the percentage of tires that are being used. So
Yeah.
if they want to play, they gotta kick in.
Yep.
And so pretty much it. And that's why
Was
the list
anybody
is
on
as long as
Hoosier?
on who?
Hoosier.
No,
Well-
Hoosier's not an eligible tire.
Well, because that comes down to, well, remember, even with their sort of like champ car tire that they've put out, the problem is that that's still considered streetable track and competition. So even as a Super 200 treadwear, they're still in that streetable track competition because technically they're deemed as an R comp. So they're not quite there yet.
And that is allowed or is not?
It is not allowed.
Is not. Is Hoosier sold by Tire Rack now?
Oh yeah, no, they've
Yeah.
always been. It's a Continental product.
It is now.
I didn't think.
The last couple years they
Okay, it is now. It wasn't before. Okay.
Yeah, it's been for a while.
But
yeah.
No, it has to be a street legal tire. Yeah.
Correct. Well, it is street legal, but it's one of those R comps. So it's like a Goodyear Eagles Super Sport or Supercar 3R, for example. So it's the R at the end, which kills it right there.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, we don't allow R comps just for the simple reason that, and through Tire Rack, they're the ones who make the tire policy, and we agree with it because they know tires better than we do. I mean, we've got a good idea about things, but they're the pros, and simple reason being is that they just won't last the mileage and everything else. And
remember that the 200 wear rating is a proprietary number generated by the tire manufacturer, and it's based on a 190 tire molded in that compound, dragged for a known number of miles across Texas, and they measure the wear. And that was why the 720 ACR was deemed a 200 rated tire, even though it only had 30 seconds of tread and no siping.
As you would call them, the cheaty Kumos.
Yes.
Yes.
And they were immediately banned by virtually everybody.
Right.
Because,
Well, that, and they were a proprietary compound for the ACR. So, I mean, it was the worst of both worlds from our standpoint.
Right.
I'm looking at the Tire Rack document right now, and specifically that Hoosier is omitted.
Yeah. It is excluded. Yes, they're very diligent about it. It takes them some time to get it to us sometimes, but it's very thorough once it gets to us. So it's
and they're not on the list unless they approve.
Any rule changes whatsoever anticipated, not only for the West coming up, guys, but for 2027 and beyond?
I think we want all cars to have a smoke screen moving forward. I think that was a tremendous feature to be able to both kill mosquitoes and to identify where the car is on track. That was amazing. We thank you for that. So yeah, I think that's going to come into play.
Impressive, you finished.
Glad I could serve.
That was
so. What was the oil budget for the week?
Well, I only know in volume, and it's not quarts, it's gallons. To the Turbo Blue in Nashville, and then at Hallett, in Tulsa is where we went to Home Depot and bought a piece of roofing metal and blocked one of the turbos off and thought we were okay, and then it started smoking.
It wasn't
And so
okay.
from that point on, we killed 6 gallons of motor oil, and we didn't drop not one drip.
Not a record, but a pretty good effort. The record is 35 quarts in a week.
Damn.
Yeah, we did
Man,
that
who
in like
who
6
said
days.
that one?
That was us.
Yeah,
4
who's-
engines.
That was a Thunderbird turbo coupe that driven by a rally champion, Mike, and I'm trying to remember his last name. But it blew blue smoke nonstop from start to finish.
I just
knew it was
loved
bad.
how you would get on the radio to all the corner workers at the beginning and say, yeah, there's this car blowing a lot of smoke. He's just killing all the mosquitoes for you. Don't call him. Don't worry about it. He's fine.
Every local was happy, and we were worried, right?
Well,
like if one of those 28 Days Later movies shows up and all the crops in the Midwest stop growing from here forward, it wasn't me. It wasn't my car.
It's not your car. Did you notice there's no bugs in the Midwest anymore?
You're welcome.
Not this year.
Not this year.
It's not.
He's
It's
the
not you.
lawyer,
There's
Brock.
nothing to kill them. I don't care. There's nothing to kill anymore. We killed them all.
So I'm terrified, right? Like I have the same year, make, and model out here in California, and I was thinking of that car, the white car, belonged to the guy in Nashville, and I'm like, man, was that just an omen? Don't do it. Just don't do it. Like I feel, and I'm getting ready to click, and I'm like, do I buy something? Do I rent something? Do I drive what I got? And if it's your bad year, it's your bad year, no matter what you do.
I have a great video of you, and I have yet to do this, but it was I forget where we were leaving, but it was one of the non-rainy days, so it must have been, I guess, Hallett maybe, Brian. We were going to Slinger. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, from Blackhawk to Slinger. And I'm behind you in our awesome minivan. And I was just, every time we go up a hill, you just woof, the smoke comes back out. And I just want to put the James Bond theme right behind that, and just chasing you down and just blowing the smoke screen back at us. But yeah, that was quite excellent. you had a lot of.
I thought my week was gonna go.
It was good.
We had years ago, a guy named Brett Braun from the Braun racing team brought a turbo Beetle TDI, and it was raining at Roebling Road, and he started off the line and left brown or black chalk all the way down the front straight. And it was just nothing sticky, just the carbon, fell out of the sky. It was awful. God,
those clean diesels are amazing. So Brock, let me in the millennia or so that you've been doing this, what is the dumbest car, or the car that, not the dumbest car, I'm going to say the car that you just looked at and it says, why are you even here in this? What was that car?
There's been lots of them. My favorite what the fuck car was the Pinto, that they took a Sawzall down the front hood line, and popped a 5-liter in it and put a giant radiator with chicken wire over the top to protect it. And had giant balloon BFG tires all the way around.
Okay. And then what is the... go ahead.
Yeah, it was just really dumb. But I mean, any of the open wheel aerials, those open top,
like the Caterhams,
Caterhams, all those were really, really stupid, especially in the early years where we had 8,000 miles of pain and deprivation.
You mean like Kevin and Doc Harmony, who used to sleep in the coffin in the back there, towing that around right next to the ethanol?
That's right. And the same people that had the Pinto had a Ford Ranger with a giant motor in it that they had a coffin in the back seat in the trunk, and then not the trunk, in the bed, and they would I don't know if there was radios or not, but they would just load the guy in there sleeping, and they would at gas stops they'd check on him.
Look, that was what Kevin and Doc did. I mean, the whole time they were, it was just behind the Caterham. They had two of them.
I think there was radios, or they had a light switch or something hooked up.
Oh no, they had nothing. Because we transited with them in 07, and they had nothing. It was legitimately just behind the Caterham, the green one that he had. Right. He had the coffin, which looked like a coffin because it was named as such, right? Or the other way. Mm-hmm. And half of it was the front part of it was their clothes and other things, and then to the left side of it was ethanol. And then to the right side of it was an area carved out with a mattress in there for them to sleep in. Sure. And yeah, he would take his wife, or his wife would take him, and they'd put him in the coffin, lock it up, and then they would drive on down the road while one slept. And that was, I mean, sleeping next to ethanol and your skid-marked underwear was probably not something I would ever do, but it was interesting to watch.
Well, while going down the interstate too, right? Like they're pulling this, and they were sleeping in this coffin going down the interstate.
Oh yeah, I mean for thousands. I mean this is. I mean what? 07 we went out to Miller, so I mean it was long transits. They weren't short.
I want their contact information. I want them to join our team.
So
I don't know. I don't know if you noticed or not. We don't do an IQ test to join the event.
We know we can't read.
Nope, you're from Kentucky.
They got the private files on everybody.
That's an IQ. Is that some kind of weird AI?
IQ's AI, yeah.
That's why no one brings their rap books anymore.
So Solomon, I think.
Go ahead, John.
I think you just gave Tyler and them some food for thought for next year that we could see being pulled behind the C6. A coffin or something.
Yeah,
we had another guy that wanted to bring a single seat sports car, and I said you can't do it because you need a co-driver. And he said I'll get a trailer and put him in the trailer. And I called Virginia to see if it was legal, and the Virginia nothing's legal. It's the most anti-fun state in the country. And
so we can continue this, but before we miss him, Mike, I want to thank you for joining us. I know you got to bounce. In true Howard fashion, we're hanging on way too long, but we love you, Mike. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll see you.
Looking forward to May, dude. Looking forward to May.
Hey, brother.
Bye, guys.
October.
Nobody's drinking.
Excuse you.
There you go. In Kentucky, boys, you guys look like you're at work, but I understand you guys drink at work normally anyway. Right?
Yeah, I mean we got the stuff going on. We're good.
Oh. I know a lawyer if I get fired.
There you go.
I ain't telling. Attorney-client privilege, buddy.
Yeah, because nobody's gonna ever see this on YouTube.
My name's Bob.
No. What was it? You were oh man, I forget where we were.
Yeah, it's all right.
Oh, route book somebody had brought up. Brock, let me ask you guys. So Brock still not enjoys doing the route book, but insists on doing a route book. I say just make it the PDF and send it out, but he still likes the tactile thing. And we've had a discussion recently about yearbooks all of a sudden that everybody missed before the event, for somehow. But what do you guys think about the route books?
Oh, absolutely do it, and then maybe instead put your price in and offer maybe $100 discount if somebody doesn't want it, because that extra is still going to go to the yearbooks for everybody else.
I can't say that I opened it.
I'll look at it from time to time.
Well, you already said you can't read.
Get out, pit in. That's where we look.
He's looking at the pictures, Brock.
Those are track maps, Brian. They're track maps. They're not just pictures. They're not Rorschachs. It's like I see a butterfly.
Like this picture looks like
Actually,
this track. Yeah.
actually, for the you people have done it before. You know that there's actually rules, some rules and things, and for the new people, the supplemental rules can be relatively important. And I do preface each of the routes with some advice. Whether or not you take it is another thing altogether, based on the fact that I've driven most of the roads in the country and most of you haven't. But that's up to you.
Yeah, I should have really listened to you in Virginia last year. That was an expensive ticket.
Oh, do tell.
No. Gee,
You might behind the guy that had the radar detector.
You mean I might know something?
Say that louder, Brian. What was that?
I said you should have stayed behind the guy that had the radar detector.
My co-pilot's passed out. I had no instructions.
I'm not liable.
Passed out from being tired, or
Yes.
Yeah, or how?
There's a story to that I can't tell on public news.
We had a good dinner that night.
We did.
we need like a behind the scenes broadcast.
I couldn't afford dinner that night.
Don't laugh. I mean, when we do the pre-shows, right? Oftentimes after we're done with the stuff that you guys see, we're still on with people for another, like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes in a lot of cases. And that's the stuff that we should really be recording. So I think I just have to forget to hit record on that stuff and then hit record afterwards. And that's the gold right there. That's the incriminating
But
stuff.
that showed you just how boring our interview must have been, because you cut us off like right at the back. Like, okay, so we're going to go ahead and let you guys go, and bloop, we're gone.
I mean, in fairness, you had like you had like a potato camera, and
That's true.
yeah, and your sound was not the greatest either. So I mean, let's step up the game for next year.
Hey, at least you can see me now.
We can see you now. It's like a
so
billy
Brian,
goat in the camera. It's fine.
What's a
I think
potato
that
camera?
night was the season
I'm on my
premiere
phone.
of Oak Island, so Solomon had to watch that.
Hey, Oak Island is awesome. I'm gonna say it now. It's great. I love it. A lot of good history there. So, and they did find coins, Brian.
This week we found a bottle cap.
More than what you found. Brian
been
is harassing me because I have a penchant for watching The Curse of Oak Island, and it's a show on history that I will watch. And yes, they've been trying for many years to find something, and no, they haven't found very much. But it is very interesting historical stuff there. So.
That's the whole curse, though. They're cursed not to find anything.
Well, yeah, if people die, whatever. I mean, I'm waiting for them to find Brock's boxers, and that'll let you know just how old it is, but that's fine. Love the route books work really well for a rookie. So see, Brock, you have Z06 Racer saying they love the route books. It worked really well for a rookie. So one person read them this year, at least.
No, man,
I use it a lot afterwards.
If you're not smart enough to read what I write, that's fine. It's up to you.
Tom read it. He's got two voters.
The two. You doubled your readership.
I read the thing, and then when we were on the way,
He's originally not from Kentucky.
On the way from Nashville to Hallett, I think it was, we were going through Arkansas in the dark. And that was the first day the turbo broke, and so we were getting out of Nashville pretty much dead last. And all of a sudden, 5-6 hours into that run, if I remember right, it was like an 8.5 mile hour run. I think it was the Cayman with the trailer, the white one, and a 911. I'm not sure which car it was, but they were doing their thing together, and they were putting through. So we all tucked in together, and I stayed in the back so people could see, and we were going, cruising through at let's just call it legal plus speeds. But we get to this spot where I'm looking, and my co-driver didn't sleep well in the car. He finally crashed out, and I'm looking at the CarPlay map, and I see up ahead the road splits, and it says to go to the right. And right about there, these two Porsches that have been glued nose to tail, going through traffic for quite some time. One just goes straight and disappears. And he was one of our guys with all the stickers and shit. And I instantly went back to the meeting with Brock going, wait a minute, was this the road we're not supposed to go up with all the potholes? And I didn't know where any of these places were, and it's dark and I'm driving and it turned out not to be the pockmarked road that I was worried about. But these are the kinds of things that you stop. It can burn 45 minutes of your time going the wrong way, freaking out, getting lost in the middle of the night, losing the cars you're with, or maybe the car you were with is lost for all you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's half the adventure there,
Oh, we know. I mean, fortunately, I think he had to go because he was plowing fields. But Rob Bowen from the Parts Farm was on earlier as we were getting geared up for the show, and his former co-driver was infamous for picking very interesting routes, not really reading the route book or even the GPS in front of him. And we have an app called Joiner that we use, and we can kind of track where everybody's going and see where they are. And we're on there and we're tracking, and we'd see him like 130 miles west of where we're going when we're going east, or 200 miles north. I mean, completely out of the way. And whether he was going for a steak dinner or just decided to go a different route, we have no idea ever. But he would complain about getting in late every time. And this year he got in a reasonable time because he was, he had a different co-driver this year, and he was like, wait, this could be enjoyable. Like I could actually show up on time. So yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah. On the way up to Road America this year, we used US 151, which is not really on any map. And if you years ago, I made the mistake of following the Secaucus brothers out of Road America, and we're headed down towards Iowa. And we hadn't got the GPS set up. We hadn't got the route book out. And all of a sudden, I see the Matt and Pete go by and say, "We'll follow them." No, you never ever follow them because you're not using a route book or a guide that anybody else uses. Anyway, we got lost, and all of a sudden, we found this road, and it took us all the way to Cedar Rapids on a brand new freaking highway that is not really marked as anything. So the only reason I knew it was there is because I got lost once. So yes, it was. I mean, some of these roads, you got to know about.
Yeah. Look, and you talk about doing Speed Plus, right? I've got to give a shout out to Team Toyota again for saving. Brian, where the hell were we going? I forget where we're headed. I think it was Road America.
We were going to Road America. We were somewhere in Iowa, like kind of sort of near Des Moines.
Yeah, ish. So we're hustling. Yeah, we're hustling along, and we make it a point to try and make up time because we generally leave close to last, and we're as it's been dubbed speed limit plus, and we're hustling down the road, and we generally when we catch the Toyota team, because they're being responsible corporate individuals doing the speed limits generally with that kind of stuff. So when we catch them, it's a good indication of sort of where we are in our transit proceedings. And Brock, we had passed you guys not long before, I think, or I forget where we were, but it was I know we had passed you, and we're heading down the road, and I start seeing the minivan. Then they put their lights on, the Sienna, and I'm like, okay, fine. And then as we're coming up by on the left lane, Brownfield swings out and just slams on the brakes. I'm like, what? So I'm like, all right. So I'm like this close on his rear end, figuring he's messing with us. And sure enough, though, then he moves over and I move up a little bit past a couple cars, and I see why. There's this unmarked Tahoe in the right lane with some lights on the back there. I'm like, oh. So I slide in behind Mike King. Yeah, I slot in behind Mike King in the GT3 RS and
ZR1.
Oh, ZR1, that's right, in the ZR1, and we're all behind this guy for like I don't know. I know Toyota had been behind him for quite some time, and as well as I think a few other cars were catching up then after us, and there was this long line, and we finally had enough gumption to move around him, and he didn't bother us, and we just hustled on down the road. And I think Brian, were you? I think you were also there, if not, or was it the white Cayman that tried to hook up?
Yeah, it
Also,
wasn't us.
wasn't you? But yes, so we worked our way around. But thank you to Team Toyota for looking out for us on that one, because that could have been not good.
Yeah,
What's wrong, Rick?
I had to I had to pass a policeman on going up towards in Kansas on I-35. He was blocking the lane, so I had to get by him. So yeah, you have to do those things.
Did you just did you give him the your number one, or what? Did you just hustle on by and give him
No,
the?
kind of eased by him. I gave him 5 miles an hour. If he wanted to pull me over for 5 miles an hour over, that was his business.
If you've ever been passed by Brock in the right lane, not during the one lap, there's a certain maneuver that Brock does every time he goes by you, and it's the kind of he throws up his left hand with the what, and he's looking in his rearview mirror very angrily every single time. So
I got it for the first time this year.
That's why I get 50 points.
That's and if you have the unfortunate distinction of being in front of him and not moving fast enough, you'll see the two hands go up like kind of this as well. And yeah, there's certain Brockisms that go even you just hear like rah, going on with the motion, so it's wonderful.
We got hung up in traffic and we were in the left lane and Brock went right past us, and I was like, oh shit, we're gonna get 50 points now. And it wasn't like we were cruising. It was like everybody stopped and we slowed down. And I look in the mirror and I tell Tom, like, shit, we're gonna get 50 points. Brock kind of looked over at us like, you guys are idiots.
Yeah, but I not only did I pass you, but you were gone. I mean, you disappeared behind me.
Well, we got way over after that because all the traffic in the left lane was getting all bottled up, so we went over out of the way.
Little known fact was when you approach a traffic jam, you always move right because the lane compresses slower. Because it's less cars per hour in the right lane.
Okay.
So you can actually move up further. So.
But what about if people are merging from the right lane, and that slows everything down?
Just they'll speed up. That would a minor inconvenience, but you're still moving more than you would be in the left lane stopped.
Especially if you use that really far right lane where there's just debris there that you just run that over in the minivan with the rental car tires.
I rarely use the shoulder.
Not never. Rarely, kids.
How about the time you hit the wall in end?
That's called the Marcus Luttrell line.
That is the Marcus Luttrell line. That is. Brian, would you care to elaborate on that one?
What? Well, using the right lane, the shoulder, of course. I mean, we were stuck in traffic. Huh? We're stuck in traffic in 95 and 77, and we were in a real hurry. And the car goes flying by us in the shoulder. And I said, well, fuck, he knows where he's going. So it's a Firebird. He runs up to the next exit, jumps off, turns left onto a frontage road, and we're making hammer time. And drive up to the next stop sign. We look over. Traffic's still stopped. We hammer straight on the frontage road some more. Get up to the next stop sign, traffic's starting to move. Oh, shit. But he's going straight. So fuck, he knows where he's going. So we go straight. All of a sudden, the road turns to dirt. He pulls into his driveway.
So what did you guys have for dinner? Or
shit on a shingle.
So I've got the 22 or 21 when we did our first one lap. We were on the way to Texas, to Eagles Canyon, and Wendell was driving, and he goes, "Oh God, there's Brock coming around the right." So Brock coming around, didn't say anything. So the next, Wendell's thinking, "Man, what am I gonna, what are they gonna say?" I said, "I don't know." So the next day at Eagles Canyon, we were there in grid, and Brock comes up. pulls his mask down, said, "I went around y'all on the right," pushes it back up. And he said, "Well," he said, "I was following this car that the girl was leaning over. Something was going on, and I didn't want to miss it. So I'm going to keep watching it. I'm going to keep watching it. And then I just had to let you go by." Brock pulled his mask back down and goes, "Bullshit." And closes it back up. 50 points.
Wait, didn't I get you the next night?
And you got me the next night. Yep. Yeah. We had to make it 2-2.
That was a year of weird things because that was the year of Brock's chin diaper and no shoes. So I mean, that was
yeah.
Wait, what? Did you say chin diaper?
Yes, because Brock was very insistent on being safe.
I've heard a lot of shit.
No. There you go, Brian. Here, move it over a little bit. There you go. So Brock was obviously very concerned with everybody's well-being and safety, but Brock also has a penchant for not wearing shoes and wearing his mask on his chin. So it was effectively a chin diaper because you were shouting at everybody the whole time, so you just had it on your chin, and it didn't do anything for you.
No, I was outside. Outside was fine. Jesus God.
So why did you have the mask on?
Yeah,
So I could get close. It was when I got close to people that I.
Yes. Quicker to put on.
But luckily, nobody wants to get close to me, so it's okay.
Insurance purposes.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
We should do this again.
Yeah. So I got a question. Like during COVID, how many people were transiting with their masks on for this thing?
So
we saw people every day on the freeway masked up in the car by themselves.
Well, I can't fix it, but at least they were concerned about it. And one lap in 2001 had no cases. And I dropped the mask requirement in 2002, and we had several cases. So, was it effective? Yes. Did I kill anybody in 2001? No. That was my main concern.
Well, the good news is that this happened in 2021 and 2020.
I was about to say.
2020.
He's from Kentucky.
We could have, if we would have brought the Vatican out.
There were no side effects of COVID whatsoever, as you can tell.
We would have eradicated this. We should have just driven around the country.
No, but in fairness, I mean, look, the odds, and look, it's one of these things that I don't think people understand enough of. So when you're running an event, and there's a global fucking pandemic, and you don't know what is real, what is not, what is BS, what is not. I mean, it's a tremendous burden to have because, and all joking aside, the one thing that Brock has always instilled in me, from day one when I started taking more of an active role is the safety of the competitors, right? And everybody who you come out. And that's what keeps him up at night, and that's why he goes to visit the therapist like tonight, right?
And
go ahead.
It's several years before we had what appears to be a Nova virus that attacked the event. Everybody blamed food poisoning, but food poisoning takes several days to manifest. It wasn't. I had the tacos. I thought they were great.
Because you're immune. I see the shit you eat. That's why you're immune.
Well, you pansy asses are susceptible to shit. Jesus Christ.
I ate off the taco truck and I was fine.
Some people had Subway subs from next door. They got sick too. So I mean, it was probably a norovirus. But anyway, the reason is we're like a cruise ship traveling from point to point to point, and everybody greets each other as friends every day. So our rate of transmission or possible transmission is very high. So it made perfect sense to be pretty serious. We're going to run the event, and if you didn't want to run the event, that was fine.
You should have just ordered everybody to wear helmets all the time.
Well, if I
order everybody to wear the helmets. No, if you're here, you got to go to your room. You got to sleep with your helmet on. It's 7 days straight. Talk about endurance.
Actually, yeah, we'll just duct tape it to your head.
Right around the chin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll get some safety security tape on it so we'll know if you took it off.
It would have improved the looks of some, wouldn't it?
It's we just would have needed. We would have made sure we had to have the drinks attachment for Howard's bar, so you can go up there and just plug some stuff into it. But
And
exactly.
Well, if Dick Trickle could drill a hole in his helmet so he could smoke in the race car, I'm sure we could work out drinks.
We're talking about drill a hole in his helmet. He always wore an open face helmet.
yeah,
I
you
just-
do easy access.
I had heard that he had when he had a close or a full face, he drilled a hole.
I just like the fact that motorsport is the only sport where somebody could be named Dick Trickle and be taken seriously.
Respect.
He's a professional.
Exactly, you know. Like, yeah. I don't know what my name would be with 4 kids, but yeah, it wouldn't be Dick Trickle.
Yeah. All I know is when I raced in the '88 La Carrera and a '54 Lincoln Capri, the only problem we across Baja, thank you. The only problem we had was a fire in the ashtray.
What were you smoking?
Yeah. Put it in there.
Everyone we could.
It was nicotine plus, as you would say, right?
That's when he had Cheech as a co-driver.
A lot of stories there, and I'm not going there. Anyway.
Oh, boo.
So who all here, if anybody, is planning on making the trek west for One Lap West here in October?
Well, I see we have got Katrin signed up. I see that one, and I know one of them who had left had signed up as well. But we've got, I think, 27 as of today. But we got to
keep
your
deadline here to make sure you got the numbers.
Did we pick up 3 today?
What's that?
I checked earlier. It was only 24.
Yeah, I think we picked up 3 because I saw 3 more. I saw 27 when I checked before we went on. So
okay.
And they were all West Coast, which is nice. So we're starting to make some inroads there. Our deadline really is sort of like the 2nd, 3rd of August to kind of make this happen. So we got to keep this going.
And July.
What? That's okay.
End of July.
Or that one. that's our non-penalty time frame, at least from the tracks. So we've got to make that
Do your part, Rich.
So
do your part, Rich.
Reaching out. So I've actually been busy with the V Club, the Cadillac V Club, which I've been pretty active with out here.
I will buy you motor oil if you get this going. I mean, you can
My shit doesn't burn.
send out smoke signals, do what you've got to do out there. I mean, let's go. Come on. You've been duly elected by the car gods to be the Pope of the West here. So get moving.
Do you have friends?
Somehow it feels more appropriate.
He's a one-lapper. The answer's no. They're all right here. I mean, it's just...
Yeah.
I was looking at that schedule, and boy, man, we got Laguna up to Oregon in one day, 700 miles. I don't think we had a 700-mile transit in the east, did we?
We had 2. Where were you?
2 of them.
I thought they were like 678.
What were you, I thought the fumes were all outside, not inside. We had 2 of them. But it was...
Did we tell you about
700 miles
the car out unintentionally?
You did what now?
So the back seat, right? Like the seats fold down. And I said to the guy, he's got this beautiful tan leather in the car. And I'm like, why don't we just leave the seats down? There's like heavy carpet. You can toss bins and shit on the back of that thing. Easier to load the car. He goes, that's a great idea. So we load the car up and we get going down the road. And about 5 minutes later, he's like, you smell something? And I said, well, I'm seeing something. Carbon monoxide's supposed to be odorless. And I don't know what the fuck was going on. And we're having this Bert and Ernie conversation about whether or not we feel normal. And I think we're, that those memes where somebody's using too much parts cleaner and they walk out of the garage and they start seeing fucking planets. Pardon my French. It was pretty much that moment. And I'm like, we should probably stop the car. And I don't know where it was coming from. So we had to re-empty the whole car, load it, close those seats and put everything in the trunk. And every time we get off the track, we'd open the trunk and it looked like we were smoking a brisket. It was
Nice.
So I hope that doesn't happen to me. But signing up, just trying to get some bodies, looking for some additional Cadillacs here that may want to join the fray out west. There's a pretty good number of folks in LA and the Bay Area. And, it's always so difficult to explain to people why, while sitting in a car doing all this shit is so much fun, but it's a blast.
But that's why we're doing this. And I think, Brian, I think, judging by tonight, as we've gone now an hour past what we were initially intending on, just with Howard's Bar. So, I mean, Howard's Bar legitimately is accounting for 3/4 of the time that we've been on the air now.
Howard.
I think that this is something we can probably do once monthly. What do you think?
Yeah, we should have done it once monthly last year, and we just kind of dropped the ball on it. But I think definitely once every 4 to 6 weeks, we need to get together and do this.
I think I agree. Brock, what do you think?
I'm in. As long as you don't have it on my therapy days, I'm okay.
Well, you don't. I don't have access to your refrigerator to know when your therapy days are. No, legitimately, Brock has a smartphone. Brock has multiple smartphones. Brock uses his refrigerator as a calendar.
No, actually, it's my kitchen cupboard, but
it's moved.
Same thing.
It's
right near the coffee maker. Yeah.
Alrighty.
I'm over it.
You're over it. We are 2 hours in, and gentlemen, I think I've got to get to sleep because I've got some work to do tomorrow. But I'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight for Howard's Bar, and just in general. So it's been fantastic, and we'll just give our sponsors some love. So again, if you need tires, anything else in between there, head over to TireRack.com. Show them some love, please. Buy a whole bunch of tires. Let them know that you're a fan of the One Lap, so this way they can keep supporting us and all these wonderful people here. Go visit the Parts Farm because they've been very kind to help up the coverage this year. So thank you very much, Rob. Even though he was on, then he wasn't on. He may have crashed his tractor. Who knows? It's his problem. But yeah, we'll catch up with them in a future time. But yeah, we'll definitely do this again throughout the year. Mike Musto again from Hemmings Motors. So go ahead and check out Hemmings when you have a chance and show Mike some love. And everybody else here, follow along with their Facebook pages: Kentucky Boys, John McKinnon, Wing Grandpas, Wing Dynasty, I should say, and everybody else here. Brian, do you have Huber, whatever? What's your page?
I think Tom still has the off-leash lapdogs.
I don't care. You're taking too long. Anyway, but go check them out and go and enjoy it. Go check out the Vatican and show everybody some love. Thank you all very much for joining us on the One Lap. I guess we're now a show because we're no longer the event right now. But thanks so much for joining, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Good to see y'all.
Yeah.